Welcome to In Fearless Conversation, a podcast from 261 Fearless, where every discussion is an opportunity to shape the future. I'm your host, Kim Chafee, and together we'll explore any topic that impacts a woman's quality of life, from leadership and personal growth to health and financial security. Join me and discover how a fearless conversation can shape the future you deserve. Hello. Welcome back to In Fearless Conversation. Today's episode is one I'm really excited about. It's connected to our educational theme for this month and next month, which is volunteering. And I think when people hear the word volunteer, they often think about giving their time to help others, which is what volunteering is, right? But it can also give us a lot in return. And I think that's something some people might miss when they first think about volunteering. We can gain new friendships, new skills, more confidence, sometimes even new opportunities that we could have never imagined. And that's exactly what happened to today's guest, Marlene Prosch. Marlene first got involved with 261 because she wanted someone to run with in the winter. I mean, that's something we can all relate to, right? But what started as joining a local club eventually led to her becoming a 261 coach, to becoming a 261 master coach, and stepping way outside her comfort zone and ultimately building a whole new career. We're going to talk about her recent experience at an Erasmus Plus workshop in Berlin that was all focused on volunteering, what she learned from meeting other volunteers, why saying yes to a volunteer opportunity can sometimes take you places you never expected, and hear about her journey and what she's learned, what she's gained, and what advice she has for others who might be considering stepping into a volunteer role. So grab your headphones, lace up your shoes if you're going out for a walk or a run, and enjoy this conversation with Marlene. Hi, Marlene. How are you?
I'm good. Excited.
I'm so excited that you're on. I love chatting with you always. And now I am just glad that you're on the podcast and we can chat about lots of things. And today we're going to chat about specifically volunteering. But before we get into all of that, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself? I know actually for listeners of the podcast, they may have heard your inner monologue, which was very popular. So they might recognize your voice, but introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. So yeah, I was already on the podcast, but it's my first time doing it in interview style. So I'm really excited about that today. To me, I'm from Austria. I live in a town with around 11,000 people. So it's not a big town. I'm 37. I have to think about. I'm a single mom. My daughter is 11 now, and I'm kind of get into volunteering with 261 Fearless, with the 261 Fearless Club Austria in 2018. And yeah, I think in this time I gained some knowledge about volunteering because of my experience, and I'm happy to talk about today.
Yes. Let's do that. So, okay, let's talk about your journey with 261 a little bit. So, you said you started in 2018. What? And you said you initially joined for selfish reasons. You were saying selfish reasons.
Definitely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I started my running journey pretty late, and the first thing I did was signing up for a mountain race, and therefore trained with a coach together. And after this race was done, I kind of don't get motivated to get outside, and it also was fall and winter, and I don't want to get out alone in the darkness. I mean, it's pretty safe in the area around here, so you don't have to worry about that. But the excuses in winter is
Still.
bigger than it is in
Mm-hmm.
summer. Yeah, and therefore I was searching for a running group where I can join and where I don't have to run alone. And the only group I found was a mixed group, and they are more like winning races, getting faster. And to be honest, I don't want to do that.
That's fair.
Yeah. So what I did was like kind of think about starting my own running group, and therefore I asked on Facebook if anyone has experience on that. And I think it was Edith who texted me and say, "Oh, there is a running group in the next town you live, so maybe you want to join." And that's how I found 261 Fearless.
Amazing. So is that how you met Edith?
No, I met Edith
Okay.
some months later. So I started in, I think, January 2018, joining the group in Leoben. And at this time, Romana did the meet run, and she was the only coach there. And I
Okay.
really liked the idea. So she told me about the training program, and I was like, I think I can do that. It sounds very interesting. So I applied as a coach, and then it all started.
And then it began. So how it happened pretty quickly then from
Yeah.
finding out that 261 exists and joining the meet runs to kind of taking that next step and volunteering as a coach, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like you were did you feel ready for that, or was it just something that you were like, I'm
To,
gonna step outside my comfort zone here? What were you feeling at that point?
to be honest, I wasn't sure what to expect, or I was kind of like naive when I got into this.
Mm-hmm.
I visited the meet runs and I thought, okay, I can do that. It's fun. I can also do some exercises and so on. And that it's a little bit bigger than I thought. I recognized when Edith told me about the training. Because first she told me, yeah, normally it will be in Austria, around where every coach lives who wants to do the training. And it's very, very easy to go to the training. And then suddenly she called me and said, okay, we don't have any trainer coming up in Austria the next time, but there is this opportunity to join in Germany because we have a bigger project on plan. And do you want to come to Nuremberg, which is or to Herzogenaurach, where the Adidas headquarters is? And I'm like, okay, I need to manage some things because my daughter she was 3 at
Oh
that
gosh,
time.
3. Okay, that's a
Um,
lot. Yeah.
yeah. But luckily it went out, and then yeah, I was going to Germany for my train the trainer, and
Yeah,
two
talk
days
about
later she
that.
called. It was amazing. She called me and said, "Okay, how are your English skills?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty okay. I have English in school. I have in my work sometimes where I have to talk English, so it should be fine." And the day after, she called me and said, "How is your French?" And I'm like, "No, you can sign me off. I definitely know. I've learned it for 5 years, but there are only one or two sentences I can say, and I don't think it will help me
You're
during
like,
the
bonjour.
trainer."
I could say
Uh,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
or I don't talk French. This is also a sentence which is very important. And then she said, "No, it doesn't matter, but we have two candidates who will come from the RC, and she just want to ask." So, and there I was like, "Okay, I think this is getting big."
You're like, what did I sign up for here? What is this going to be
Yes,
like?
yes.
So so it's you, the two candidates from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and who else was there? Was there anyone from the US there or the
The,
UK?
Yes, there was Juliet did the training from the UK, and this was my fan moment because I started listening to the podcast what she started,
Yes.
and then I met her and I'm like, oh my God, I listened to
I
her just a
yeah.
week
I
ago.
think a fangirling moment whenever you meet Juliet for the first time is fair. Juliet McGrattan for
Yes,
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. And also Melissa from the US lead the training
Mm-hmm.
together with Edith.
Okay.
Um, And then from the candidates, there was also one woman from India, Tasneem,
Okay.
and from Albania, Mimosa, and Greta from Italy. And then Erica, who joined from the organization Free to Run, who came together with the two women from the ERC. And it was also the first time where I met Christina, because Christina was doing the French translation for the whole weekend for the two ladies from the DRC.
So that's a
yeah,
big
it was
group.
it was a big group. And my first getting out of the comfort zone was getting there, because Edith told me, yeah, I will fly from Vienna, but my husband Horst is driving with a car and he can pick you up and then you can go to Germany.
Oh.
So I had 5 hours with a man I never met before. I wasn't
Oh
sure
my goodness.
how this works out, but it turned out pretty cool. And we talked the whole 5 hours, and yeah, it was
Of
just,
course.
it's always
Yeah.
give me goosebumps when I think about this weekend.
Wow. It sounds life-changing.
Yeah.
And I think it certainly was for
Definitely,
you, right? It
definitely.
I think we have kind of similar paths with 261, where we kind of started and didn't really know where it would take us, and it's kind of completely taken us down a different path in life that we hadn't anticipated, but in the best way possible, of
Yes.
course. Yeah. I mean, so you've been with 261 now for a while, and now you're part of the 261 Inc. team as our senior operations manager, and we could not survive without you. You keep us all organized. My ADHD brain is grateful for you in many, many ways. And you're also a master coach.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are you a coach, but you're volunteering as a master coach as well. So you have lots of volunteer experience here.
Yes.
As a coach. What do you think that you've learned about yourself that maybe you wouldn't have learned had you not found 261?
Oh, that's a lot. It always kind of start when you reflect the last years, that you see what you've gained. When I started with the coach role, I started to gain more self-confidence and self-esteem. So I really like the coaching and instruct others doing exercises. And I was always the girl in sports who said, "Oh, do we have to run? Can we go for a walk or something like that?"
Yeah.
But when I do it on my now, and also instruct others and see how they move and how this works out, I really liked it. So I also did a training to become a fitness trainer. I would definitely not consider myself as a fitness trainer a few years ago. So this is definitely something I learned. And what I also learned is talking to other people and going to other people, because I'm very open-minded, but I'm not that kind of guy who goes up and talks to strangers. So this get me out of my comfort zone when I started finding members for our groups. I'm much better now, but it always, like, when I start to present something, the sweat is starting, and I'm like, okay, take a deep breath. You have done this before. But what I also realize is if there is a topic you really burn for, it's much easier to talk about it. And if I met someone and I start talking about 261, I could talk for hours. So
yes,
it's getting easier.
Yeah, I feel the same way. So I always kind of considered myself to be, well, there's lots of things going on. Anxiety, an introvert, those kinds of things. And so talking with other people, I had never really had trouble talking to other people, but I always felt very uncomfortable doing it. And almost kind of wanted to kind of hide in the shadows a little bit. And so once I started with 261, it took a little while, but when you're constantly being pushed outside your comfort zone, pretty soon it becomes comfortable, right? You become comfortable with things that you weren't comfortable with before. And I feel the same way now. Like, I would never have imagined myself to be someone who would travel alone, like anywhere, forget internationally, but anywhere. And now it's not a big deal. Like now it's just something that happens. So it's really remarkable how this one area, right? We're volunteering as a coach, but the impact that has on us is so far outside that area. Right? It's so far outside of running. It's just our entire lives. And I know that you recently went to Berlin and to a conference that was all about volunteering.
Yes.
So can you tell us about that?
Okay.
Erasmus Plus, correct?
Yeah.
Do I have that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us what that is so people know, and then I want to hear all about this cool workshop.
Okay, perfect. So as you said, 261 is kind of always getting pushed outside your comfort zone if you want to or if you don't want to. So there is always someone, I don't want to add any names, Edith, who sees
I almost just spit out my
really
tea. Sorry.
what you're capable, what you're capable of. So she knows what we can do, what we don't think we can do. And then she came up and say, okay, we have this European Union project. And because Christina kind of needs to leave on maternity leave, we need you in the project and also for some other parts. Do you want to join? And I'm like, okay. And it was kind of the same like with the coach role. I didn't know what to expect. And it turns out it is a little bit bigger than I expected. So the Erasmus Plus is European Union funding program, which supports education, training, and also do a lot in the field of sports. And there are a lot of projects going on where you can apply for, where you can get some fundings and can do really great things within the European Union. And so we got this invitation for this workshop, which was all about volunteering. And I was able to go and to apply. So the spots were limited, and luckily I was able to go there. And when I get there, I feel like a little bit of this imposter syndrome, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? Just listen. And everyone's talking about different kind of projects, K1, K2, and I'm like, oh, I feel so unprepared.
Okay.
But then it turns out pretty quickly that I wasn't the only one. I think we were around 50 people joining this workshop. So it was a big group of people from, I think, 14 nations. So it was really a great mixed group. And in the first hour, there was kind of a get together, know a little bit. And then you see, okay, there were some of them who did few projects already, but there are also someone like me who are just starting with the project. And then it feels a little much easier for me. And the topic, it was volunteering in grassroots sports, and most of the clubs have the same problem like we have. So how can we find volunteers who stick to the volunteer role, because it's kind of getting less. And there were different topics we have to work through in groups and discuss about. And it was really interesting for me to see, because first, when I started, I thought, okay, what can I bring in? It was more that I thought I can learn a lot about it. And during the 2 days, I saw, okay, this is what 261 Fearless Inc. do already for the clubs and provide for the coaches is really on a high level compared to other clubs. So there were different studies where they ask, okay, how can you get the people involved in the volunteering role? And one of the things what sticks out was the recruitment process. So some of the coaches who go through our recruitment process always says, "Oh, you are so structured. I wouldn't have imagined that." And there are some clear commitments we expect from our coaches. And it feels like, yeah, we need volunteers, but on the other hand, we also need to have some kind of a quality for our volunteers. And we also need to be sure that the coaches who apply also want to do it on a long run, because it doesn't make sense that a running group opens and after 1 year it's already gone, because it's really not good for the members. You need a consistency, and having this central organized recruitment process is really a big plus to get qualified or quality candidates to join. So this was one really interesting thing to see. On the other hand, it's always like volunteering, you don't get paid. How do you get people to commit their time? And there is also, it doesn't need always the payment. I think when I started, the first thing was, what I was really excited about is I get a running gear each year. So I don't have to buy running shoes, and I get a new t-shirt. And if you give me a t-shirt, I'm nearly signed in for everything. So
that's all I'm simple. Just give me a shirt. I love it.
My mom always says, what will you do if you don't work for or volunteer for 261? You won't have anything to dress up. And I'm like, yeah,
right?
Choose your clubs.
Yep. That's very true. So interesting. Was there a conversation? Well, let's stick with the thought about like what you get, because yes, we get a new kit, a new coach gear every year from Adidas, which is wonderful. Amazing. And always very exciting. Yes. Yeah. Always very, very, it's like, I don't know.
Christmas.
It's just like it's your
Christmas
birthday, Christmas, all of it. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
All at the same time.
It's very exciting. But I think, volunteering in general, you also get other things back that aren't as tangible, right? Like, can you talk, did you discuss any of that in your volunteering workshop, or what are your thoughts on that?
So the main things we all mentioned, what you get out of it is the community. And there I really found it interesting. There was some people from Ireland, and there's a big volunteer, how can you call it? They are used to, if you're in Ireland, you grew up, you will be definitely in a rugby team or in the Gaelic football team. So they are kind of all volunteering in these clubs. On the other hand, as soon as the children drop out of the age group from the clubs, also the parents who volunteered first will drop out. So, but the volunteering there is very high, and it's all about the community getting together. And I also experienced it by myself. So I lived in the town where we started the meet run for 10 years. And when I started with the meet run groups, I learned learned to know more people I wouldn't have met before, because I was at home, I was at work, and that's it. And getting out with the meet run and with the volunteer role really enriches my people around. So this is a big plus what I took out of the volunteer role, and I wouldn't miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what comes with that community piece is also the mental health benefits. Yeah, because feeling like you are part of a community, being connected with other people, I mean, just having conversations with other people is so important for your mental health. And, we've talked a lot about that, about how isolation and being alone is not good. I mean, we all need to be alone sometimes, right? To recharge our batteries. And that's how some people recharge. But really, if you don't have that community around you, it can be really hard. Like, life can be really hard.
Yeah. And I just need to think about COVID times. So I got divorced by the end of 2019. And so my whole life turned around in beginning of 2020. And when I kind of thought, okay, let's start through it, it was March, and there was the first lockdown. So when we had our virtual meet runs and workouts, it was also where I realized, okay, this is a bigger community. It's not only my town. It's the US, it's New Zealand, and we are all on the same page. And I really enjoyed when we were able to get back together, not in running, but at least we can meet. I think all of our members in Trofeiach, in the city where I live, turned up, and we were 20 people in the park area, all standing with the distances, but we were there. And
But you were together.
this was amazing. And when I look at the group picture we did there, it's always like the goosebumps coming up again. And
I was just going to
this
say,
is
like,
really something really unique.
Fighting tears just thinking about, because I mean, we all lived through that. We know what it was like that first time that we were with people again. And the emotion, how can you not feel all of the emotions? For sure. Yeah. So I'm wondering if your 25-year-old self told you where volunteering would take you, right? This journey. Do you think that you would have believed her?
No, definitely not.
No.
So I laughed when I thought of the question. So I thought, okay, what would my 25-year-old expected or told me? But definitely not that. I mean, my 25-year-old didn't have COVID on its radar, or divorce or something. So I think I just started my running journey there. So if you have told me back then that I will train other coaches, or I will travel around the world, I would just have laughed and said, yeah,
right,
for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel the same way. It's amazing how one decision can really open up a world of opportunity. Like one yes.
Yeah. One
really.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you stand on Brooklyn Bridge and in the morning and you're like, oh, how did I come here? That's amazing. Or last time when I went to Albania, we sit on the sea and seeing the sunset, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. And I'm so glad I get out of my comfort zone.
Absolutely. Because doing that, giving of yourself, volunteering in this way, you're giving so much to the other women in your community, but you're gaining so much at the same time. And it's just really great. So what would you say to a woman who might be thinking about volunteering but feels like, well, maybe it's too much work. I don't know if it'll be worth it. If I'll be good at it. What would you say? What would you say to her?
I think I would tell her my story. I never expected, as I said, my 25-year-old would never see me in that role as I am today. I can only tell you that being a coach and putting in the effort, you gain so much out of it. If it is friendship, if it is knowledge, you gain. Just thinking about our ongoing education program, this helps me so much, not only in my coach role, but also in my personal life or in my professional life. Because I also changed my job during this time, what I stick for 12 years, and I didn't like it either, but it was there was a purpose why I did it so long. But this is all what I gained from the confidence of being a 261 coach, because I know, okay, if it doesn't work out, I can do something different. Mistakes are not that bad as we all always think about.
Such a great conversation with Marlene. Marlene, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your journey with us. I think my biggest takeaways from this conversation is that you never really know where volunteering might lead you. What might start out as wanting some running buddies in the winter could end up opening doors to so many new experiences, so many new opportunities, new confidence, new friendships, maybe even a new career. And I love this reminder that volunteering isn't just about what we give to others. It's also about what we gain along the way. So if this episode resonated with you, if you know someone who has been thinking about volunteering but not quite sure, we'd love you to share this episode with a friend. Please leave us a review that helps us with visibility. And thanks so much for listening to this fearless conversation. Until next time, keep showing up, keep saying yes to new opportunities. You never know where it could take you. Running is just the beginning. Stay fearless.